So we are doing basically our fourth episode, if you will, our fourth unit, and we're talking about origins. And so for the last 3 weeks, you've heard a lot about my origins, and Al just really working hard at drawing a lot out of me. And it was just really fun because the scripture tells us that, we overcome him, the devil, by the word of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And so I'm very excited, and I'm so excited I wore my favorite t-shirt, straight out of Page. And that's because our man of the hour, Pastor Al, is straight out of Compton. Well, it might not have been straight, though. It's kind of a winding road, I think, that brought him here. And so we'll get to actually hear more about that. I'm very excited about that. It's so funny how we've been really close friends for a number of years and worked together. And I started realizing that there's just a lot of details about Al's life that I don't know. And so I know the man he is today, and I've watched so much happen with him, and we've been working together for over a decade. And so just watched such a transformation, not just physically, and I mean, that's the obvious thing is we see his physical transformation, and he's helped me really with my own health and fitness journey tremendously. But the most beautiful part of that is watching him grow spiritually, emotionally, and really mentally, just growing and maturing, and watching him develop different gifts and talents. And so one of the things about him is that he's probably one of the most multi-dimensional, talented people I've ever seen. And so it's been such a joy to actually be a partner with him on his journey, and watching his growth, and God develop him as a man and as a dad, which I don't know how many of you are aware, but Al has 3 sons, which is really funny because I've had 3 daughters, and they're just doing amazing things, and they're like my nephews to me. I love them, and Jaden, I'm it now.
Yeah.
And I've not been it this long, and so I'm going to have to get creative because Jaden and I've had a years-long game of tag going, and I've been it for quite a while. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I must be slowing down.
He learns from the best. So.
I don't know about that, but he's definitely on top right now. So.
Right.
So man, I'm really excited though to have you and to really kind of draw out your background.
Right on.
You've come so far that it's just even hard to relate that,
Right, yeah.
So now, were you actually born in Compton?
I was born right in Compton, California, man.
Oh, that's so wild.
Yeah.
That's so wild. And so tell me about your mom. Did she grow up there?
No. Now, my mom, her family is literally from Texas, Beaumont, Texas.
Okay.
And that's where they grew up at. And at the age of 18, that's when my mom took off to California.
Okay, so she just took off on her own?
She wanted to get away from everything.
Okay.
To get involved with everything.
Okay, so a lot of family back in Texas? And,
oh, yeah.
And so there's probably lots of family dynamics and whatnot?
Right, absolutely.
And see, some people, you might wonder about that, but I know for me, I mean, I left, most of my family's still back in the Poconos.
Right.
And I was that one who got out and struck out to find a life, which worked out really well for me.
Right, yep.
So she was 18.
She was 18.
Did she have any kind of vision, dream of what she wanted to do?
If she did, she didn't tell me. So,
okay.
No, and I never remember my mom ever really having goals set in front of her, or her ever telling me, hey, this is what I want to accomplish, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is what I'm working on. Yeah, I never... I don't think she ever had something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I was just really, because a lot of people go out to the LA area or whatever, and they've got dreams of Hollywood or something.
Right, exactly.
It's funny. So then, and then obviously she met your dad.
Yep.
And I don't know anything of that story whatsoever.
It's not really much to say. I believe it was it was a mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This wasn't planned, and still to this day, I don't know who the guy is.
Yeah.
And I can never get my mom to talk about him or tell me, who is he, and that drove me crazy.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, it drove me crazy, dude. Seriously.
So just really never got to know anything about the man.
Nope, nothing whatsoever. But it's funny because in the ghetto, you see other kids playing with their dads. You know what I'm saying? And I always wonder, man, where's my dad at? You know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, never knew. All I know is that my mom. This is what she says. She kicked him out because she wouldn't buy me no diapers. He wouldn't buy me no diapers. You know what I'm saying?
So he stuck around through the pregnancy and your birth.
I don't even much think he stuck around for that long. I think he was just existing.
Oh wow.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I really don't think they had a relationship.
Think maybe he was living off your mom.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean that's the one thing. I mean your mom was so faithful in supporting you.
Right.
How did she get by?
I remember her working. Now, she was working at one job, GE. What do you call that? General Electric. Or
Yeah,
something.
big company.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yep.
GE.
She was working there for a while, but man, I think it was every Saturday, dude. We was in the line, getting food. You know. So we was really dependent on the government. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so probably food stamps and
Food
those
stamps,
programs.
and yeah, we'll go to this place. And I still remember as a little kid standing in line, holding her hand, waiting for a box of food. And I can remember one item in that box that a lot of black people like is that cheese. It was so fake as heck, but it was so good.
It's kind of Velveeta. Huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. They're jokes about the government cheese.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, I grew up loving Velveeta.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man,
right.
it would melt real good. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, now I'm getting hungry.
I hear you.
So man, Spam and Velveeta.
Yep. Now I never had Spam until I met my wife.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
wild.
Right. Exactly.
And so your mom, do you remember or do you know what she did at GE? Was she
No, I
just
think
one of the assembly workers?
Exactly. Right
Okay.
there.
So so she worked at assembly line, which I'm
Right.
really. I mean, and I mean, there's a lot worse places to work
Exactly.
than GE, so there's some good
Right.
benefits and whatnot.
Right.
And so now, did she pretty much settle there for the rest of you guys' life together?
Pretty much until her mom got really sick,
Okay.
and that was when I was going into high school, and we wound up going to Texas.
Okay, so
You know
that
what
was
I'm
in your
saying?
high school years.
Yeah.
Well, tell us now, growing up in Compton,
Mm-hmm.
and I know there's a lot of single moms, you know,
Right,
there's
right.
a lot of single moms here in Page.
Right.
You know, and let's just talk. I think it's very interesting, you know, because you talked about that about your dad and the fact that you know nothing about him,
Right.
and that had to leave you with a lot of questions, which
Oh,
you
yeah.
indicated earlier.
Oh yeah, tons of questions, and you know, again, just why didn't he want to be around me? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Did I cause him to leave? You know, well, you know, just you know how stupid,
Yeah.
you know, stupid questions like that. But yeah, always, and I was the only child too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so far as I know, I might have some brothers and sisters out there.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, and
Right.
and I think that's important because I think that, you know, there are dads out there that have basically abandoned their kids,
Right. Right.
and I think sometimes those men are like, I'm a mess, and I'd be a disaster as a dad, and so I'm going to run away for the child's sake.
Right. Right.
But I think every person I've talked to that's been abandoned by a parent asks that very
Right.
question.
Exactly.
But then every parent I've talked to, some will say, yeah, I was just a selfish piece of whatever at that
Right.
time.
Right. Right.
And but most of them, and I don't know if it's just an excuse,
Right. Right.
but it's more like, no, they're better off without me around.
Right. I mean, that's what you think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in reality, it's not. You know, especially because it leaves you with a lot of questions.
And I think it's important for people to hear you say that because
Right.
I think every child who's had a parent that's just dropped off the map has that question. And even if you're an absolute disaster,
Right. Right.
I think that you do your child such a disservice by disappearing and
Yeah.
making them wonder.
Exactly.
I think it's a horrible, horrible thing to do to a child.
Right. Right.
And because I don't know any child that's not had those questions.
Exactly.
And you've overcome it magnificently, but still,
Right,
it's still
right.
that hole
Right.
that leaves.
Yep.
And so I think it's important that you know, even just a little card that says, "Hi,
Yep.
you know, I'm your parent. You really don't want to know me. I just want you to know that you're better off where you're at."
Right.
And, just any kind of
Something like that, yeah,
acknowledgement,
exactly.
any kind of acknowledgement.
Exactly.
That, and if you're really a man, own your stuff.
Exactly. Yep. Especially when it's dealing with a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
But you know what I realize, and a lot of people don't realize this. Here we go. When you step out of your kid's life, you just set them up to be an at-risk child.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So statistically, man, being raised in the ghetto with a single parent, I should have been either locked up in prison or dead.
Absolutely true.
You know, and the only reason why I'm standing right here is because of the grace of God. You know what I'm
See,
saying?
and I'm looking forward to getting to that part. And
Right.
it's just so amazing because I mean, what was it like, especially let's just say around 6, 7, 8 years old, growing up in Compton, single mom.
Right.
What do you remember about growing up in Compton at that time?
It was rough, man, because even at a young age, seeing things that no kid should be looking at. You know what I'm saying? Every day was just surviving.
Okay.
Trying not to get shot, trying not to get stabbed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, I live right across the street from Compton High, so in that area, that was mostly Crips. That was, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
wearing
yeah.
the blue, representing the blue. Well, a lot of my family,
Yeah.
was Bloods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me growing up around them.
So that was red.
Exactly. So a lot of times,
So where was your family that were Bloods? Were they in
California. That was
California?
in
So you had a
California.
lot of family in
A
California
little
as
bit,
well?
yeah.
Okay.
Cousins and things
but
like
they were
that.
Bloods. And
Yeah.
then where were they at?
They was on the other side of town.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I
So,
appreciate that.
But yeah, and I remember one particular time, man. I woke up and I wasn't thinking right, and I put on red. You know what I'm saying? And I decided to go walk out down the street.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Oh.
Bad idea. I remember looking up and seeing these 3 guys, man. They stopped dead in their track. Of course, they're sporting in their blue. You know what I'm saying? They representing hardcore. And they see this little chubby guy with red on. And,
Yeah.
I stick out like a sore thumb. Because first of all, I'm big, and now I'm wearing red in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's almost advertising.
Exactly. So, I knew I knew what was up. So it was like, okay, I'm either gonna have to stay and fight, or I'm just gonna run.
Yeah.
I ran.
Smart.
You see,
smart
right?
decision.
Right.
Well, and a lot of those guys, they don't play. They just
No.
come up and they'll pop you. Just pop and you're done.
Exactly.
I mean,
absolutely.
yeah. And if you're wondering why a Hick's talking like that, it's because of the guys I served in the Army with.
Right.
A lot of situations where I was the only white guy in the room.
Right.
And but and hearing stories about that,
Mhm.
and literally guys doing what you're doing who were shot and killed.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm hearing those stories from those guys.
Right.
And so man, oh man, and you were probably about 6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8, right around there. Yeah.
And did you feel identified with the Bloods?
Oh yeah, big time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Huge. Because when I roll over with my cousins, that's who we hang out with. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I remember one time one of my cousins came over and he was a Blood, and I said, man, let's go ahead and roll over to Compton High and just walk around. He's like, oh no.
I don't want to die today.
Right, exactly. So, and his name was Big Al.
Oh my gosh.
But he was
Wow,
like
yeah.
huge. I mean, like big.
But
Muscle bound.
yeah. Wow.
So and they
Golly.
used to call me. My name used to be Baby Al. He is Big Al.
Yeah.
I'm Baby Al. You know
Oh,
what
wow.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So now it's funny because your mom left Texas to get away from the family, but then you got more family around town.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me a
In
little about
Cali.
what's their connection?
They like my first and second cousins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
on your mom's
Mom's side. Yeah,
Okay, so she
yeah,
had a brother
yeah.
or sister out there?
No, just so it's almost like her grandma or her mom sister family or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
So it was your auntie
Right,
through your mom.
right.
Gotcha.
So I think they was out there before we moved out there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's who we hung out with, man, and learned a lot from those guys.
Yeah.
You know, how to just simply survive. And a lot of people, I want to say this too, man, a real OG, they're not out to cause trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They are about protecting their neighborhood and protecting their family. And now when I say family, I'm talking about loved ones. We're not necessarily talking about blood family.
Yeah.
We're talking about their crew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So your community, that's yours. Yeah.
Exactly.
So they go ahead.
So they're not really out there trying to cause trouble or trying to be, stick out like a sore thumb. That's not a real OG. He's low key. He's cool. He's collective. Now, if you cross him the wrong way, that's when something.
Yeah, you best
bad.
respect him.
Exactly.
Then.
Exactly.
So did they? Okay, and then you must have been recruited.
Oh yeah.
And so what's that look like?
You get a beat down.
Okay,
You
so
get
they come
jumped.
beat you up and say, "Hey, now come join us."
Exactly. And they don't. Even though I was real close to my cousin, that didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they just want to make sure you dedicated. You gonna go for the ride. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. So it really wasn't optional. There was really no way out.
No.
You had to be.
No.
And then did they ever make you ride? And where?
You know what was so
represent?
cool, and I thank God for this. My cousins always watched out for me.
Okay.
So a lot of times when they knew they was gonna do something crazy,
Yeah.
they make me stay. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Yeah.
which is cool. And honestly, it wasn't a lot of drive-by, a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So, but if they had beef with somebody, they go handle up their business and they don't play. I remember this one time, Pastor Manny, about 8, maybe 10, me and my friend, it was Nina, it was my friend Freddie, and we was just riding our bikes, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling, having fun. And I remember rolling by this one park, and you saw this group of these kids, man, and they looked at us, and next thing I know, they came chasing us, right? Well, they pulled Freddie down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just started beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? And me and Nina, we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So we just simply rolled, wait till they got done. Freddie got up, dusted stuff off, got on the bike, and we went home.
Oh my!
It was crazy, dude. And still to this day, I'm like, what was that all about?
Yeah. So and it wasn't about a gang thing.
I don't think so.
Not directly.
Not right, exactly.
So you got on the wrong side of somebody.
Something. And again, we was just little kids. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
that was strange right there.
Wow.
But again, it was like 12 or 13 of them. So it was like me and Nina could not do anything.
No, you're just gonna be in the same shape he is.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
but once they got done with them, they got up. He got up. We didn't say a word to nobody.
Yeah.
We just rolled.
Yeah, you just got out of there.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yep.
Well, and I mean, the fact that nobody stuck a knife in him, or
That was a blessing.
I was gonna say,
That was a blessing.
because that could have happened easy.
Exactly.
And so wow. And then, how old were you when you got out of Compton?
I was maybe 14 or 15, something like that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so 13 in Compton with the gang thing. Because I mean, as you get older, more is expected.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly. Again, my cousin just protected me the whole way. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think that was God sent. But again, I got into some stuff that I shouldn't have. You know,
Okay.
and I think around that age, man, I was really bitter. I was really angry because I told you what happened to me at a younger age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that really caused my heart to really get hard.
Yeah.
So at that age, I really didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So-
saying?
so-
Because I was just picking out people who I could just beat the crap out of. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's the
yeah.
anger. You know what I'm saying? That was inside
So that
of
was
me.
how you dealt with it, was just
Exactly.
basically through violence.
Exactly.
And but it was fist violence. It wasn't deadly weapon
No,
violence.
no.
Yeah.
So
So I was carrying 2 guns, but yeah. So well, that's really interesting. And then spirituality growing up. I mean, because of course, I met you not too far out of out of some ministry training.
right.
But growing up in Compton, what was your spiritual life like?
Well, I always knew that there was a God. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
okay.
I had no doubt about that. Plus, my mom, she was a devoted Catholic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So she
would
was
go-
faithful for mass.
Exactly. Yep.
So she make you come?
She would make me come once in a while. You
Okay,
know?
not every
no,
Sunday.
No, I didn't get anything out of it. I just got a good leg workout, getting up, standing, getting down, standing
kneel
up.
stand. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I knew Jesus exists. A lot of black people in black communities know that there is a God. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
there's no doubt about that. So that's so yeah. So that was grounded in me. You know,
Yeah.
I just wasn't living for him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
See, and that's the funny part, and that's one of the places where our testimonies come together, because the idea of no God was just nonsensical
Exactly.
to me.
exactly.
And I really think that for the average person growing up, the idea of no God in existence is, I really think that is an unnatural concept.
Yep, and that's why I was tripping out about the two kids that never heard of Jesus, man.
Yeah.
And these were teenagers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm
yeah.
like, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
You know, now, see if he's from another country or things like that, but they didn't know nothing about Jesus.
Yeah, like, who is this guy? That's
Right.
that for me is so foreign.
Right.
And grew up mostly on church myself, you know.
Right.
And so, man, so here you are, you're really just getting into your teens, and you said earlier that your grandma got sick, and that's what led to your mom.
Right.
Now, financially, were you guys pretty much in the same financial condition growing up, as far as, you know, she worked for GE, but you guys were just barely making,
Man,
surviving?
Listen, dude, we were so poor, we couldn't even much afford the OR. We was just poor.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what I'm saying? And, but as a kid, I didn't know no different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like when I was in the ghetto, I didn't experience racism.
Yeah.
You know, because one thing about that, they try to keep, that's why they call it ghetto, everything inside this limit. So not a lot of white people would come in.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It probably wasn't a healthy thing for that white person to come in.
Right. So all I was a witness of is black on black crime.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So, that was all new. It was when I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh,
is when
Tulsa.
I experienced. Or maybe maybe a little bit in Texas when we moved there. But it wasn't all that in your face.
Yeah.
Although 25 miles away was a city called Vidor that had KKK in there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, again, you hear different things, but me personally, I never really experienced it until I really went to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bad.
So, man. See, and man, so here and that's a setup when you're already angry and dealing with violence. So,
Right.
but let's keep it chronological here, because, and so you guys went from Compton to Texas. Was that Beaumont?
Beaumont, Texas, yeah.
Okay, which is on the east end of Texas, near
Exactly.
Louisiana, where
Exactly.
it's green
Yeah.
and lots of moisture and
Right.
humidity.
Yeah, and lots of
So-
hurricanes.
So what was that transition like for the two of you?
It was for me. It was weird because
You never knew anything
exactly.
else.
You know what I'm saying? But for my mom, it's just going back home,
Yeah.
hanging out with her cousins and families, things like that. But for me, it was weird, dude. But to be honest, when I moved there, that was my first time ever experienced a true drive-by.
Oh, wow.
Not in California. You see what I'm saying?
But in Beaumont.
Texas, exactly. On the north side, and I was standing with my homeboy. Drive by, he got shot, bullet went straight through his jaw, you know what I'm saying? He fell down, got back up, went after him. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first time ever experiencing that.
Wow.
And I still see the hand of God, because that could have been me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So apparently this guy was carrying, and he had the presence of mind to get up off the ground and start going back after him, huh?
Yeah.
Woo.
Yep.
Yep.
And I
Holy
remember,
smokes.
we was fixing some radio issues in my car, and that happened, dude, just out of nowhere. And
Wow.
that's when I'm like, wow, I thought I escaped this.
Yeah. You thought you were safe.
Exactly.
Holy smokes. Well, and so that is a true PTSD type
Right.
of experience.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so, see, and that's the wild thing, because, as a military person, and I've worked with people struggling with PTSD, and you're looking at this generation of young men who are coming up and seeing this kind of gang violence, who are
Right.
also dealing with PTSD.
Right.
And so, wow.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy because, when me and Rennie was with Brent and Teresa one time eating at Denny's,
Mm-hmm.
man, I thought I heard a gunshot. I was under the table before anybody else realized where I was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like Al disappeared. huh?
Exactly. It's just,
Wow.
It just happens, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So, did you see a lot of that in Beaumont?
A lot of shooting, a lot of shooting. A lot, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot.
So that's where things really got
Yep.
jacked up.
Yep.
See, I was expecting to hear, yeah, things
lot
were
of-
better, that
right,
my life
right.
improved.
No.
And just the opposite.
No,
It
it's
got
just
worse.
the opposite, exactly.
Okay, so
Exactly.
now you continued in school?
Yeah, still to this day, I don't know how I made it because I didn't take school serious. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I just exist. You know,
Mhm.
but like I told you before, you know, and I think the reason why I made it, I fell through the cracks because my auntie was a counselor there.
So
what
she
I'm
kind of
saying?
covered you?
Yeah, something like that. Or they was afraid of her,
Yeah.
so they just passed. But they don't realize that
She
they.
kind of woman to be afraid of?
Oh yeah, I do.
Ooh. Well, you
yeah.
know what? Working in a school district with that kind of stuff going on, you better be better than the kid in your
Exactly
office.
right.
makes
right.
sense.
Exactly. But I think they just set me up for a failure though, because when I graduated, I couldn't read. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
as I think back, I wish they would have kept me back and taught me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you end up graduating high school and illiterate
Right. Big
and
time.
able to read and write. What'd you do when you graduated? I mean, now, was your situation as far as, you know, basic subsistence, did that improve at all, or was that about the same?
I think maybe it's the same.
Yeah?
I think, yeah. I think the same. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So you're still just basically barely surviving.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're set up for failure.
For failure,
I
exactly.
mean, so you're coming through, and I mean, honestly, at this point, statistically, you're 99.5% sold to the river. You know, I mean, you
Yeah.
just basically sold it to the mess.
Right. What they would call it, that your story was already written for you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Now
that's
you
a
just
good
got
way
to
to
live
say
it
it.
exactly. You
Yeah.
know.
So really, that writing was on the wall. So what?
Exactly.
What'd you do when you got out of high school?
Still sold drugs, did drugs,
Yeah.
party, things like that. But you know, me and Paris got really close. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He
so you
was
might
my
want to tell
homie.
people about Paris a little bit.
Well, Paris is my best friend and a childhood best friend that we just kind of took each other in,
Yeah.
you know, and just a good homeboy. His home life was jacked up. I thought mine was jacked up.
Yeah.
His home life was jacked
Wow.
up. Do you
Okay.
hear what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
talking about getting raided. You know what I'm saying? Grandma dying in the house and nobody knew that for a few days.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so me and him, we was like brothers. We
Yeah.
just always hung out together.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember this one particular time, he came over and he said, "Man, I've been looking at this school." And he's very smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been looking at the school, Spartans of Aeronautics. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What do you think about if we go out there and
Mhm.
try to hit it up? Okay, because I love Paris. I just wanted to be with him, hang
Mhm.
out with him. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And,
One person you could count on and trust.
Exactly. So we got the U-Haul, man, which was really cool. We got the U-Haul and we took it up there. Got there, wasn't a success for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still dealing with the fact that I can't read. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's like 90% reading.
Wow. Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
So again, within I think a month, I had to drop out.
Yeah.
You know, and I wound myself back in Texas. Got into more trouble because I'm like, okay, well, nothing's going.
I got nothing.
Exactly.
So this is my life now.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah. It was rough. So, but that's what happened, man. So I'm back in Texas, still doing the same old thing, man. Just in a bad place, worse
Wow.
place.
Well, man, there's going to be a monster shift here real shortly.
Right.
But I don't think we have time to really develop
No, that's
what
right.
got you
right,
there.
Right.
And though I'm really eager to hear, I mean, for me, there's just a lot of blanks being filled in,
Right,
and I'm really
right.
enjoying that.
Right,
And so,
right.
so it's just really the intensity of that. And so, but just to kind of continue, because anybody, you know, sooner or later, if you're here at Faith Bible Chapel, you're going to meet Paris. I mean,
Right. Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
who is he still competing?
He's not. He's just training now.
Okay, so he's training other bodybuilders.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And
Yep.
so how did he do in the school? Did he get through it, and did that set him
he
up?
got. Yeah. He didn't have no issue. Well, which school? High school or Spartans of Aeronautics.
Yeah, the aeronautics school.
He made a bad choice and he got kicked out.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the past
So-
caught up with him there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the whole thing. I mean.
Actually, you know what? Let me rewind. This is what happened, man.
Yep.
He was supposed to pay his tuition. His dad, they sent the check home to his dad. His dad's supposed to give him the money, and his dad wound up spending it. That's what happened. So he couldn't do anything but drop out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and then that whole sense of betrayal at that point
Right.
too.
Oh,
Just-
he was devastated, man.
Oh, that's horrible.
because that was his ticket out.
Yeah. See,
you
and
know?
yeah, and oh, yeah. As a dad, man, that just really hits my hardcore dad bone.
Right, right,
So
right.
shoot, man. Yeah. So well, and so yeah, we'll probably have to. So when did things turn around for Paris? We don't have to develop that one so big, but
I think things turned around for Paris when he was in prison.
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah. there's
there's a whole story there. That's a
Yeah.
lot bigger story than I thought we were going to
Yeah,
get into.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Especially since we
Absolutely.
got to wrap.
Right, right.
So man, but I'm really kind of sorry to have to wrap.
I
I'm
hear
really
ya.
really appreciating this time. So next week we will continue,
Right.
and we'll see how God intervened in Al's and maybe even a little bit of Paris,
Paris,
and,
right, right.
and just how God saved both of you. I'm
Amen.
just so thankful for that, and because I know Paris is a big part of what
Right.
got you on the right track.
Yep, exactly.
So we'll get to hear
Exactly.
that whole story.
Right.
But man, thank God for redemption, right?
Amen.
And all of that past does not determine your today or your
Exactly.
tomorrow.
Amen.
You get to
Amen.
turn that around. So and that's mainly, with God's help, all things are possible. And that's what's so important for us is with the alcoholism, violence, and mental illness that I came from, with the poverty, violence, and abandonment that Al's come from. God is the one who makes all things new, and honestly, we can use those bad experiences to fuel us to go forward. And Al has been phenomenal about that in his life. And we're just so blessed to have him with us here. It's just so amazing that a messed up hick from the sticks in the Northeast and a gangbanger from Compton end up partners in a ministry that gets to do what we do. And we've got to see different parts of the world as part of the mission of what God is doing through us. And so here at Faith Bible Chapel, so we've went from poverty to privileged, and we want that for any and all of you out there that are seeking Jesus Christ. So God bless you. We hope you have an amazing week, and I am so looking forward to hearing more from Pastor Al next week. God bless.